Put on your microphone.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to give a notice of motion that this House adopt the report of the county
Honorable Ngetich, you don't have to read the whole thing. Just a notice of motion over the same. It's well enough.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to give a notice of motion on the finance and economic planning report.
Fair enough. That's enough.
I request
No, a notice is enough. Take a seat. Take a seat. And your neighbor Philip, Honorable Philip, is not helping you. He's just happy, laughing. Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Honorable Cynthia Muge.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 45-1C, I stand to seek a statement from the Chairperson, Tourism, Culture, Gender and Social Welfare Committee on the above subject matter, that is the provision of data in respect to sexual offences in Nandi County. Honorable Speaker, in situations where functions of the county government and the national governments intertwine, the new constitution provides a framework under which both levels of government can coordinate and cooperate in execution of such matters. Honorable Speaker, defilement and other forms of sexual abuse demands a unified and coordinated protocol of handling those abuse cases between our medical officers and the police with a view to generate and preserve evidence. It is on the above premise, Honorable Speaker, that I demand that the following data from the relevant authorities through the Department of Gender and Social Welfare be availed, Honorable Speaker. 1, the number of sexual offences cases treated and discharged from our county health facilities, and the matters that were settled and reported to police stations, and those that were settled out of court. And secondly, the number of sexual violence offenders referred to police, those that were charged, and those that were convicted. And Honorable Speaker, lastly, the number of sexual violence offenders acquitted as a result of lack of evidence. Honorable Speaker, I ask the chair for this committee to be able to look for this information and provide to this House, because, Honorable Speaker, it looks like there is no problem until you involve yourself in the situation where you find so many cases and so many people in the prisons of Kapsabet being sexual offenders, Honorable Speaker. And the people they offend is the girls and the women of this country, Honorable Speaker. And it is my prayer that we are able to find this information. Thank you.
Okay, I think the relevant committee chair should respond by next Tuesday. Next Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. Who is the chair involved? Honorable Sarasar, are you? Oh, you are the vice chair. You've taken note. Fair enough. Okay. Next order.
Order number 8, motion.
Honorable Teno.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move a motion that this House adopts a report on County and Budget Operation Committee on the Nandi County estimates for the financial year 2021-2022. Honorable Speaker, as you are aware that the Constitution and the Public Finance Management Act 2012 plays significant responsibilities of the County Assembly over the management of the public resources, particularly with regard to resource mobilization, allocation, monitoring, and control. Article 224 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 provides that every county government shall prepare and adopt its own annual budget, an appropriation bill in the form and according to the procedure prescribed in Act of Parliament. The County Executive of Nandi prepared the county budget estimate for financial year 2021-22 and then subjected it through public participation process. and regulatory structures, including review by the CPF on the April 30th, 2021. The CC member responsible for finance submitted to the County Assembly proposed budget estimate for financial year 2021-2022. Mr. Speaker, sir, Section 131(2) of BFM Act 2012 in the layer provides that before the County Assembly considers the estimate of revenue and expenditure, the relevant committee of the County Assembly shall discuss and review the estimates and make recommendations to the County Assembly. Mr. Speaker, sir, Standing Order 210(5) provides that the Budget and Appropriation Committee shall discuss and review the estimates and make recommendations to the County Assembly, taking into account the recommendations of the sectoral committees, the views of the County Executive Committee member for Finance and Economic Planning, and the public. To achieve this, therefore, the County Assembly undertook the above exercise, guided by the standing orders, which directly borrows procedure from Public Finance Management Act 2012. The County Assembly engaged the sectoral committees as provided by the Standing Order 210(3), which states that upon being laid before the County Assembly, the estimates shall be deemed to have been committed to each sectoral committee without question put for each such committee to deliberate upon according to their mandate. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Budget and Operation Committee did not conduct public persuasion exercise due to restrictions imposed by the Ministry of Health on social gatherings in combating the spread of COVID-19 pandemic, but in adherence to Article 196(1)(b) and 201 of the Constitution of Kenya, and as stipulated under Section 871(a)(p), the County Government Act 2012, the County Assembly of Nandi invited various stakeholders and the general public to submit their views through written memorandum to the clerk, Nandi County Assembly, specifying the policy areas, programs, and views in respect to the budget estimates for financial year 2021-22, which forms part of the basis for recommendation of this report. Honorable Speaker, the proposed budget estimates for the financial year 2021-22 was submitted to the County Assembly on 30th April 2021. And in line with Article 221 of the Constitution, the proposed budget estimates was committed to the Budget and Appropriation Committee, as well as all the sectoral committees of the County Assembly, for review of the budget proposal of each department within the review. The Budget and Appropriation Committee examined and discussed the budget estimates and has made recommendations which are contained in this report. In reviewing the budget estimates for financial year 2021-2022, the Budget and Appropriation Committee held 6 sittings, which included 1 with the County Treasury. The committee also held meetings with all members of the County Assembly and received their submissions on the budget estimates. The submission have been incorporated in the Budget and Appropriation Committee recommendations. Once approved by this House, this recommendation will form the basis of the financial year 2021-2022 appropriation bill. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Budget and Appropriation Committee is established under the provision of Standing Order 189. As currently constituted, the committee comprises of the members that are listed in Chapter 4.0. Honorable Speaker, Standing Order 189(3) outlines the mandate of the Committee on Budget and Appropriation as follows. 1 is to investigate, inquire into, and report on all the matters related to coordination, control, and monitoring of the county budget. Number 2, to discuss and review the estimates and make recommendations to the County Assembly. Number C, examine the county fiscal study paper presented to the County Assembly. And D, examine bills related to the county budget, including appropriation bill, and evaluate tax estimates, economic and budgetary policies, and programs with direct budget outlays. Mr. Speaker, the submitted county budget estimates for financial year 2021-22 was laid on the table of the Assembly on 3rd May 2021, pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 210, and subsequently committed to the Budget and Appropriation Committee for public persuasion and consideration by the sectoral committees in line with their committee mandate. The public persuasion was not conducted, Honorable Speaker, due to the COVID-19 pandemic issues, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, in the 2021 2022 budget, it is expected that policies and programs that will be implemented therein are contained in the medium-term plan and will be operationalized. The committee tried to establish the extent to which the CFSP, the Vision 2030, the medium-term plan, the Big Four agenda, and the policy documents of the government form the basis of the preparation of the annual budget estimates for 2021-2022. Mr. Speaker, sir, though the County Treasury is required by law to take into account the resolution of this House on the CFSP, as it finalized the budget, the committee has established that some of the sectors or departments did not adhere to the expenditure ceilings set by the County Assembly in the CFSP. Mr. Speaker, sir, the total budget for the two arms of the county government during the financial year 2021-2022 is estimated at Kenya shillings 8,878,606,851. Mr. Speaker, sir, the main expenditure highlights for the budget estimates for financial year 2021-22 are as follows. The county executive, Kenya shillings 8,103,876,599, and the county assembly, Kenya shillings 774,760,252. Honorable Speaker, the Budget and Operation Committee is grateful to the sectoral committees and all members of the County Assembly who participated in the process for the hard work and dedication in making sure that the County Assembly lives up to its budgetary oversight role. Secondly, the committee is grateful to the Office of the Speaker and that of the Clerk for the guidance and necessary logistical support in this fundamental exercise. Finally, the committee is indebted to the County Assembly staff who offered invaluable technical support and service in successfully complying with this report. Mr. Speaker, the County Assembly, in consideration of this its role in representation of the public interest, public persuasion, I've already said that, Honorable Speaker, that the public persuasion was not conducted due to COVID-19 restrictions, but the memorandum was sent, Honorable Speaker, so that it can gather for the same, Honorable Speaker. But because all the members, Honorable Speaker, have the copy, I think you have a table that's under page 10, Honorable Speaker. When we start with number 1, Honorable Speaker, that's County Assembly expenditure. Proposal to relocate, that is views and recommendation of the MCAs, proposal to relocate Kenya shillings 20 million for the recurrent expenditure of the County Assembly, up from Kenya shillings 649,760,252, so that we can get the ceiling of 669,760,252. In water projects, Honorable Speaker, there was a proposal from the committee, the MCS, that to allocate Kenya shillings 14 million for construction and completion of water projects to drilling of boreholes. And the committee recommended the adjustment in this report that thereof the water projects are earmarked to be construction at Kenya shillings 1.2 million per watt. Honorable Speaker, in page 11, that is under committee findings. The committee found that the county annual estimates have varied over the last financial years as per the table in page 11, Honorable Speaker. And I think that is self-explanatory when you look at 2018-19, 2019-2020, and 2020-2021, and now finally 2021-2022. That totals to 8.8 billion Kenya shillings, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, from the above tabulation, the budget annual estimates over the past 5 years can be explained as follows. Unspent balances have been fluctuating over the years. Local revenue has been fluctuating. Number 3, equitable share has been increasing in the financial year 2021-22. There was a significant increase due to the anticipated improvement in revenue raised nationally in the financial year 2021-22. Due to an anticipated improvement in revenue raised nationally in the financial year 2021-2022, when the effects are expected to ease and the conversion of 4 existing conditional grants to county governments into unconditional grants. Honorable Speaker, on resource envelope for the financial year 2021-22, The 2021-2022 financial year budget will be financed as indicated in that table that shows the unspent balance is expected to be 975,863,172. On-source revenue, 387,106,430. Equitable share, 6,990,869 and 41 shillings. And conditional grants of Kenya shillings 524,798,208. The totals to 8,878,606. 8,878,606,851 shillings. Honorable Speaker, the committee considered the conformity of the budget to set legal framework as spelled out in PFM Act 2012 and the Constitution of Kenya 2010 and the County Assembly standing orders and arrived at the following general observations. On adherence to the provisions of Section 107 of the PFM Act 2012, Section 107(2)(p) of the PFM Act 2012 provides that over the medium term, a minimum of 30% of the county government budget shall be allocated to the development expenditure. The budget estimates for financial year 2021-22 adheres to this by allocating 31.9% to the development. And on compliance with the Section 25AP of PFM regulations of 2015, the budget estimates fail to comply with above stated sections on the PFM regulations 2015, which requires that the county government expenditure on wages and benefits for the public officers shall not exceed 35% of the total revenue. In the budget estimates for financial year 2021-22, 47% of the total revenue was allocated to the personnel cost. And on compliance with the approved county fiscal and study paper, the committee noted that all the departments' allocation for the development expenditure combined with the approved CFSP ceilings, except the Nandi County Assembly development expenditure and trade and industrial development. The recurrent expenditure estimates of the following 5 departments as submitted did not comply with approved recurrent expenditure ceilings. Upon review, the committee had found that only the following departments had not complied with the provisions of CFSP as approved by the County Assembly. That is finance and economic planning. There was a deviation of Kenya shillings 121,800,000. Number 2, health and sanitation. There was a deviation of 43,807,812. The county executive, a deviation of 63,905,000. The lands, environment, and natural resources. There was a deviation of Kenya shillings 12,669,973. And roads, transport, and infrastructure, which they had a deviation of Kenya shillings 49,982,000. Further, the committee noted the existence of significant variance of Kenya shillings 908,863,172 in the funding between the approved CFSP and the budget estimates 2021-2022, given that these are anticipated balances from financial year 2020-2021, which was not disclosed in the CFSP. However, the committee is of the opinion that the disclosure of this figure may not have been possible or accurate if then presented in the February to the County Assembly, that is 4 months before the end of the year. To this end, Honorable Speaker, the committee strove to rationalize some programs in order to align the budget estimates as required upon to the CC finance and economic planning, explaining the deviation from CFSP totaling to Kenya shillings 292,164,785 in the recurrent expenditure as stipulated above. Honorable Speaker, the CC member, however, made an appeal to the County Assembly explaining the reason for deviation basing on Section 108(8) of the PFM Act 2012. The following are the reasons cited. Number 1, the County Assembly should retain the operational expenditure for the County Executive Finance and Economic Planning and roads. This is to enable the departments to clear its spending suppliers and majorly secure health covers for employees. The provision for health cover for employees is a requisite in public service, and the maintenance amount under the departments of roads and are for the routine maintenance of the county machines and all the utility vehicles across the departments. And number 2, that the county government has over time been directed to facilitate the payment of outstanding bills as at 30th June 2020. However, this was not paid in totality during the period given, since the county government had not fully budgeted for the same. This prompted another circular number 4, 2021, reference, I think we have reference number there, dated 21st March 2021, directing that we budget and submit the payment plan to the Controller of Budget and the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury and Planning. It is on this note that the County Treasury called the CFSP to accommodate all the outstanding bills. The committee was satisfied upon the review that the cited reasons by the CC explaining the deviation. The explanations are attached to this report under Appendix 1. Mr. Speaker, having deliberated on the budget estimates for financial year 2020-21, the Committee on Budget and Operation Committee recommends as follows. On policy recommendation, Honorable Speaker, the CC member for Finance and Economic Planning, in preparation of budget estimates, should comply with all sections of the BFM County Government Regulations 2015. In particular, the CC member for Finance and Economic Planning should present budget estimates in a format that complies with Section 33 of the BFM Regulations 2015, which provides that preparation and submission of estimates shall be done exclusively through prescribed automated integrated financial management system, that is IFMIS. By B, Section 25A and B, which requires that the county government expenditure on wages and benefits for public officers shall not exceed 35% of the total revenue. Number 2, the county department should ensure timely procurements process and evaluation of the projects. Number 3, the county shall, as per the procedural directive communicated by the Controller of Budget, the county government of Nandi shall prioritize the settlement of all the pending bills that do not have audit queries and which were appropriately supported to be paid before 30th June 2022. The County Assembly had already approved a relevant report on pending bills that were historical in nature, but with appropriate adjustments. Number 4, similar to the instructions of the Controller of Budget, the County Assembly issues a directive that the County Executive shall, within the period not later than August 31st, 2021, share a plan on how remaining pending bills will be paid in the financial year 2021-2022. Honorable Speaker, the payment plan for the pending bills shall, at bare minimum, indicate the payments scheduled for the following bills. And when we have all the departments, Honorable Speaker, under page 19, on all the pending bills, that is historical, the work in progress, and the total amount, which totals to 1,566,635,999. Honorable Speaker, in the event that this resolution is not implemented as recommended, sanctions shall apply on the relevant CC member, and the budgetary request for any department disregarding the resolution of the County Assembly will no longer be acceptable in this House. Honorable Speaker, on budgetary recommendation, the committee recommends the following adjustments. Number 1, under the fourth number R4423, the County Assembly, a total of Kenya shillings 20 million shall be added to Kenya shillings 649,760,252, so as to be Kenya shillings 669,760,252 in the financial year 2021-2022. The Kenya shillings 20 million shall be adjusted by adding an equivalent amount on the CRF balance revenue. Number 2, under 4419, lands, environment and natural resources, the provision of Kenya shillings 14 million for the construction and completion of water projects be allocated to drilling of boreholes, with allocation of Kenya shillings 18 million, totaling to Kenya shillings 32 million, the remaining balance of Kenya shillings 36 million, that is Kenya shillings 1.2 million per ward, be allocated for the construction and completion of water projects. Under D4417, that is sports, youth affairs and arts, the provision of Kenya shillings 2 million for the budgets of mechanical toolboxes and Kenya shillings 4 million for the budgets of car wash machines and assorted tools, totals to Kenya shillings 6 million, shall be reallocated to acquisition of sporting equipments at Kenya shillings 200,000 per ward. Under D4418, education and vocational training, the provision of Kenya shillings 15 million for equipping and operation of 6 PTCs shall be relocated for provision of bursaries for needy students under R4411, economic item number 311007. Further, under R4418, that is education and vocational training, an amount of Kenya shillings 15 million for provision of bursaries for needy students be relocated under R4411, county executive, for provision of same, leaving a balance of 45 million in R4418. Under R4411, the total of allocation for the provision of bursaries for needy students shall be Kenya shillings 40 million. Under R4412, that is finance and economic planning, the provision of Kenya shillings 30 million for salaries and wages shall be reallocated to R4412, economic item number 2210904. That is provision of medical insurance, totaling to Kenya shillings 200 million for the staff. That will go to 200 million shillings for the provision of covers to the staff. Number 6, under R4412, that is finance and economic planning, under recurrent expenditure item number 2210102, water and sewerage charges, shall be amended to reflect an expenditure estimate of Kenya shillings 3,740,000, up from the initial allocation of Kenya shillings 100,000. The increment of Kenya shillings 3,640,000 shall be adjusted by adding an equivalent amount in CRF balance and shall be used to finance the pending water bills. Number 7, under D4414, healthy and sanitation, the provision of Kenya shillings 90 million for equipping and operation of complete facilities shall be allocated as follows. Number 1, completing, equipping, and operating facilities, that is at ward level, 60 million. That is 2 million per ward. And number 2, provision of medical equipments, that is countywide, 30 million. That totals to 90 million. That is under health. Number 8, under R4411, county executive, economic item number 221-13-008, legal fees shall be amended to reflect an expenditure estimate of Kenya shillings 44,680,000, up from initial allocation of Kenya shillings 1,320,000. The increment of Kenya shillings 43,360,000 shall be adjusted by adding an equivalent amount in zero balance and shall be used to clear pending bills. Number 9, that Kenya shillings 524,798,208 as conditional grants from development partners be considered under the following lines and department for functions stipulated in the County Government Grant Bill 2021. A, that Kenya shillings 59,482,857 being funds for IDA, that is under World Bank, for transforming healthy system for universal health care be included in the revenue, and 4414, healthy and sanitation under the recurrent expenditure. Number B, that Kenya shillings 11,851,125 being funds from Tanita grant be included in the revenue, and 4414, healthy and sanitation under recurrent expenditure. Number C, that Kenya shillings 297,105,106 shillings being funds from either, that is World Bank, credits from NARIC, be included in the revenue, and 4415, agriculture under development expenditure. D, that Kenya shillings 82,682,844 being funds from either, that's World Bank, credit from KDSP level 2 grant, be included in the revenue, and 4413, administration and development expenditure. Number E, that Kenya shillings 23,676,246 being funds from Sweden credit for STSP2 be included in the revenue, and 4415, agriculture and development expenditure. F, that Kenya shillings 50 million being funds from World Bank for Kenya informal settlement improvement projects, that is KISIB 2, be included in the revenue for number 4413, administration under development expenditure. Honorable Speaker, for avoidance of any doubt, the total expenditure estimate for financial year 2021-22 shall be Kenya shillings 8,878,606,000, 8,878,606,000 606,851 to be funded from the revenue sources listed in the table that is given in section 8.2 of this report. Honorable Speaker, on public procurement and disposal process, the CC member for Finance and Economic Planning shall ensure that all sourcing processes by the county government of Nandi for the contractors and suppliers to undertake the supply of work, service, and goods is undertaken on or before August 31st, 2021. All contracts and agreements are entered into by the county government with contractors and suppliers is undertaken on or before September 30th, 2021. Number C, the first issue of LSOs or LBOs for contracts and agreements for those under contracts where sourcing processes are requests for quotation and proposal should be entered by the county government with contractors and suppliers shall be done on or before October 30th, 2021. Number D, the county undertakes to optimally consider the disposal and hiring out of non-performing movable assets to the interest bidders in an effort to caution the county government of Nandi from unnecessary maintenance expenditure. Honorable Speaker, we have a table under page 23 showing a summary of recommended expenditure by department. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, the committee therefore requests this House to resolve as follows: that the House adopts this report. Number B, the proposal amendment to the approved budget estimates for the financial year 2021-2022 as contained in this report be adopted, and that the recommended summary above under section 8.81 of the report becomes the basis for the preparation and subsequent approval of the Nandi County Appropriation Bill of 2021. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and I call upon Honorable Rael Rotich to second.
Honorable members, I wish to propose a question that the House adopts the report on the County and Appropriation Committee on the Nandi County estimates. The same can be debated. Honorable David Koech.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First of all, let me take this opportunity to thank the Committee of Budget, led by the Chairman, Honorable Walter Teno, for the wonderful job that they have done. From the onset, Honorable Speaker, I support this report. One is because of our staff, Honorable Speaker, have had a lot of challenges. You remember even when we lost our staff for health, nurse Victor, it was very difficult for the family to raise the bill for the hospital. But if we had this cover, Honorable Speaker, I know most of our staff would have been assisted, Honorable Speaker. Recently, we have had our staff who have fallen sick. We have had to go and do fundraising for them, Honorable Speaker. All these members in this Honorable Speaker, are covered by the insurance, plus the staff of the County Assembly. We want to extend the same hand to the executive side of the government, Honorable Speaker, so that all our staff can be able to be covered, Honorable Speaker. I allowed the Committee of Budget because of that. Another thing, Honorable Speaker, is the issue of pending bills. They have budgeted for all the pending bills, Honorable Speaker. I believe now, if this budget is fully implemented, Honorable Speaker, we'll be able to sort all our contractors that have done work for this county and they have not been paid. There is something about the stalled projects, Honorable Speaker. There are projects that were started previously, they are not yet complete. I must laud the committee for finding it right to allocate money so that they can be completed, Honorable Speaker. There is no need to have projects that have been started and they are not complete. I know one of them is the office complex, which was started in the previous government. We have even the Kipchoge Keino Stadium, and many other projects, Honorable Speaker. Another thing, Honorable Speaker, which I was very happy to hear from the report, is the operationalization of complete projects. There is no need to complete a project, Honorable Speaker, and not to operationalize. I must allow the committee also, Honorable Speaker, for allocating finances for operationalization of all the projects that have been started by this government, Honorable Speaker. As I finish, Honorable Speaker, I'm happy because our youth have been remembered, Honorable Speaker. Previously, we have had to go into our pockets to even buy some valuable balls, football balls, at times nets, Honorable Speaker. But I'm happy because this time the committee allocated some money for every ward that we shall be able to support sporting activities for our youth, Honorable Speaker. There's also some money for welding machines that can be able to assist some, also the youth groups, Honorable Speaker. On the side of roads, Honorable Speaker, you realize in our county there is a lot of rain, Honorable Speaker. In fact, compare Nandi County and Uasin Gishu County, there are more rains in Nandi, and even especially where I come from, Honorable Speaker. I'm happy because there is more allocation to the roads so that we can be able to maintain our roads to the passable standards, Honorable Speaker. I support in totality, Honorable Speaker, and I urge the House to support, and we take the shortest time possible, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Wilson Sang.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. First, I must thank the Committee for Budget, led by the able Chair, Walter Teno, for such a wonderful budget so far. I think we have been having budget from the beginning, but this is the most wonderful budget because, one, I've seen the issue of the bursaries. And I've seen the Speaker, you are laughing, Speaker, maybe you are aware that this thing, I don't know.
No, I can see your happiness. Your happiness is...
Okay, I'm very happy because I saw what is happening here. One, we have the issue of the bursaries for the needy student. You remember in the last, financial year, that is 2019-2020, we never allocated money for the bursaries. But this time I've seen it will assist us as a electorate. Remember that we are beginning the term maybe from July, and most of our needy children are at home at this time. So if at all we can allocate this, we pass this budget immediately, so that we can allow the members of the executive to go and upload, so that by July or August, we will be having the bursary for this student. I think that is one of the reasons that I said, because many times our members of our county assembly, we have been away from our homes because of this bursary issue. So I must thank the committee too. I also saw the issue of the drilling machine. If this budget can be implemented, and the drilling machine will be given in every ward, most of our women and most of our children will be having pure and clean water, the members of the county, the members of the public. So if we can allow this budget, honorable members, and I have seen, this is the most budget that I have been admiring for, that if you can allow, I am requesting you members so that we can pass this budget for implementation in our various wards. That's what I'm requesting, honorable members. Also, we have the issue of contractors. Currently, we have work in progress. We have also the pending bill. If you can allocate, you can ask members of the public and the contractors that we have given you tenders. They have shied away from doing so because we don't have money for the same. So I've seen this budget that have been allocated a lot of money for the pending bill. So we are requesting that as we pass, they will pay the contractors and let the contractors come and work so that we can clear before our term ends. Because you know that by next year, this is our last budget. And I've seen most of the things will be okay in this county. So if we can agree that we pass, we can do authorization. We can also, I have also a facility. I have also a facility in the VCT, that is Koibem. You know, Honorable Speaker, members are laughing. You have not been talking like this, Honorable Speaker, because I don't know members.
Honorable Sang, I think they are impressed with the level of support you are giving the budget.
Okay, thank you,
I'm
Honorable
sure
Speaker.
they would want to know what is the biggest benefit you're getting.
So I've seen also the VCT, that is Koibem, here. I've been talking about it for the last 4 years.
Kujulishaji Mheshimiwa Spika.
Yes, Honorable Fred.
Mheshimiwa, ningependa kujulisha rafiki yangu
Take
Mheshimiwa.
a seat, Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Ningependa kujulisha rafiki yangu Mheshimiwa. Yale shule ya kiteknolojia pesa yote imetolewa. Pengine anachangia ile anajua. Milioni 15 yote imetolewa iko ndani.
Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Mengech.
Yeah,
Just before you can respond.
Just for the sake of the Deputy Speaker, you should be aware that, as Honorable Fred has said, I should read you budgetary recommendations at number 4. Under vote D 4418, education and vocational training, the provision of 15 million shillings for equipping and operationalization of 6 VTCs, including Koibeb. That money has been reallocated for provision of bursaries.
Honorable Sang, you are duly informed. Because you had just mentioned you are happy about the bursary, so you can confirm.
Honorable Speaker.
I can see your stand.
Honorable Speaker, maybe the honorable members, in fact, that I don't know. They do not understand this one. I don't know who is wrong between me and them. But I knew that I don't know the VCD, ECD, I don't know honorable members, honorable Mengech. I don't know whether they are confused or what.
Honorable Sang, you are happy about the bursary, so you can confirm it has gone to bursary.
Point of information, Honorable.
Yes, Honorable Majority.
I think because I'm very near to my friend Honorable Sang, what he meant is that now that money has been provided for completion of project, an ECD center that he has, he was very happy about that, Honorable Speaker. That the contractors are going to be paid so that they can complete the project, Honorable Speaker. So maybe that Honorable did not understand my friend, Honorable Sang.
Are you turning to be his spokesperson?
Okay.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, proceed.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. So I was saying that without saying much, I need also to thank the chair and the members, and I totally support this budget, and I urge members that let us support. This is one of the best budget, and with this one, if it can be implemented, 3/4 of us will be back, or all of us will be back come 2022 general election. Otherwise, thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Elfas.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. First and foremost, I stand to congratulate the chairman and its committee for the wonderful budget he has actually worked on. Honorable Speaker, I stand to totally support the budget actually which has been highlighted by one Honorable Walter Ten, the chairman budget. I want to say thank you and your committee. Mr. Speaker, as my colleagues have echoed, I want to echo the sentiments of one Honorable Majority Leader that this is the most wonderful budget, which I pray and I request that actually, if actually be implemented to the fullest, for once we will see a very wonderful job being done to our electorates. What has also elated me, Mr. Speaker, is that I'm seeing a provision of, Mr. Speaker, the guys in front of me are making a lot of noise.
Honorable members, let us consult.
Yes, they will have their time to share the sentiments.
Honorable Kipkuri Chepkony,
and Kityon
let us consult in Lotons. Proceed.
Yes, I want to stress a very important point here, Mr. SG. For once, I'm seeing a total of 50 million being provided for provision of informal settlements. That is the KISIP. I've never seen in the budget for the last 4 years, I've never seen something like KISIP 50 million provision of informal settlements, which will go in helping people living in Tigray, where Chemnyang and Kuru is coming. And this
Point of order, Honorable Speaker. Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable.
And this one.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Proceed.
I want, Honorable Speaker, the member for Chepterway. Is he in order to allege that in Tindred we have informal settlement? Honorable Speaker, every resident in Tindred resides in land that is legally existent, not informal. In this case, Honorable Speaker, unless there are those neighbors of Chepterway who are in informal settlements, none exist in Tindred. And I can assure you, Chairman, Honorable Speaker, that the 50 million in talk here will not even cross beyond Nandi Hills. So, Honorable Speaker, the member for
Point of
Chepteroi
information,
should be found out of
Honorable
order.
Kipkurui, take a seat, Majority Leader. I would assume that is just information. So let's assume the honorable member contributing is duly informed. He's at liberty to make statements. Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, and I want to thank my learned friend, Honorable Chepkwony. I meant well for the people living in Detroit. I didn't actually say that they are living in isolation. Thank you. However, what I was saying is the 50 million actually which has been factored in this budget will go in and helping our people actually who are always in catastrophic areas. It will assist them, including even those from Chepteroi, not specifically Tinderet. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm also seeing a provision of, Honorable Speaker, from time immemorial, we have been having issues with contractors actually, awarding of tenders and issues to do with contracts. And for once, I'm seeing a provision from the PIPOA rules captured here that in case of any delay, I want to just put it in simple terms, in case of any delay or mismanagement or contractors, so-called contractors working in our projects, that contract tender will be cancelled within 1 month. And before any other contractor is awarded, the area MCA will be notified. I don't know whether you remember as you are seeing. For once, you have strength and powers to decide and to counter-check the contractor actually who has been awarded tender to work in our projects, in our wards. Failure to which if you are not in agreement, that contractor will not work. So this is a very powerful budget which has given us powers to decide and to counter-check the contractors working on where we have been having issues. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to dwell much on that because this is the budget which I want us, I'm requesting our honorable members to pass within a record 15 minutes so that we will have our executive uploading this budget so that within 1 week, we will be the first county actually to see our budget being implemented. Because this, remember, we are nearing electioneering period, and the people at the ground will produce scorecards. These scorecards, this is the budget which will help us to have positive remarks and constructive on our scorecards. Let us use the minimum time, Mr. Speaker. This is a wonderful budget. Thank you.
Honorable Swadi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, to give me this opportunity also to give my views on this report of Budget and Appropriation Committee. And first of all, Mr. Speaker, let me take this opportunity to thank the committee led by the able chairman, Honorable Walter, for bringing this budget and appropriation report to this county assembly. As I've been following the chairman going through the report, and also because I have the report, Mr. Speaker, this is a very good budget, a very good report, as said by my colleagues. However, the problem is implementation of this budget. We know we have a problem, both in the counties and especially in the national government. As we pass this report, and everybody is saying this report is good, Mr. Speaker, we must also force the government, national government, to release the funds allocated to counties so that this budget we are today passing, we are going to adopt today, this report of budget and appropriation, Mr. Speaker, when the money comes to the counties, then the counties, it is under our oversight. We as MCS, we can control that one. But the problem is the national government delaying disbursement of funds to the counties. But this budget, it is the budget which touches the common mwananchi. This is the budget now, Mr. Speaker, which touches our wards. Because if you look at this budget, we have allocation for drilling of water in every ward, Mr. Speaker, which is very important to our community, to our mothers, to our sisters, who go and fetch water down to streams. Mr. Speaker, this budget budget touches the youth. If you see, we have allocation for equipments, for equipping or buying equipments and sporting for our youth, which is very important. This touches direct to an MCA, because MCA, in our last budget, we didn't have that allocation. Most of the MCAs were using their money to buy sporting equipments, balls, nets. And this time, we can see that in our budget, we have sporting equipments for our youth in our various wards, which is very important. Mr. Speaker, most important in this budget is this pending bills. Nothing has been going in our wards. It is because contractors refuse to go to do the work in our wards because they have not been paid. But if you see in this budget, there is pending bills which the contractors will be paid as soon as we adopt this, as soon as we start the financial year. Then our ongoing project in our wards, I do believe that the contractors will go and finish the work in our wards because they will be have been paid. So, Mr. Speaker, this is when I look at this budget, I see this the budget touching the common mwananchi, touching the MCS, and also touching the wards. There is so many good things in this budget. See the issue of bursaries. We didn't allocate the bursaries last financial year as it has been put in this budget today. So, Mr. Speaker, I do believe next financial year from July, August, September, by October, we shall have monies to sponsor our students to various institutions, secondary schools, and that is very important. And you know, this one we are going to assist our parents, to assist our electors, to assist our voters, because you know we have this pandemic, this called COVID-19. It has finished our people, and if we give them bursaries, I think this one our people will have to recover from where they have started, where the COVID have been affecting our people. So, Mr. Speaker, this is a very important document, and I argue my colleagues, let us pass this budget so that we go to appropriation and pass it next financial year. We just do follow-up. I do believe we have chairman for implementation here, Honorable Gideon, who is very active. Make sure that this budget is implemented as we have been passed here. And also, members, let us come out clearly. Let us be strong to force the government, to force the national government, to force your Jubilee government to deliver, to give our counties money as stipulated in the Constitution. Why are they delaying the money? Let us come out and tell the government, the president and the government to give us money to the counties so that we can deliver services to our wananchi who elected us. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable January S. Kering, followed by Honorable Robert Kirwa, then Honorable Fred.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I stand to support the motion. We really took our time as members of the committee, and personally on behalf of people of Ndalat, I'm so excited today for provision of some funds for the dispensaries and health centers. Mr. Speaker, my people have been suffering so much so that they are even crossing across the border to Uasin Gishu County, that is Kapseton, to go and maybe make some tests whenever they are sick. Reason being, we've got an health center in Kamngombe, but it is not operational. The lab side is not operational because of lack of equipments. But now that they have provided for medical equipments that will be supplied countrywide, and I've got some other 2 million for my ward for completion and equipping, I'm so excited today. This is the only budget that I'm really supporting in totality. So, Mr. Speaker, I therefore support.
Honorable Robert Kirwa.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipatia hii nafasi. Na pia mimi nataka niunge mkono hii budget ya leo kwa sababu katika basari tumeongeza pesa mingi, na hii itabidi watu wa Chimundu wote wanaweza pata basari kwa sababu tumeongeza basari mingi. Pia pending bills. Nataka chukua mkondo hii wana contractors. Kwanza katika wadi yangu kuna dispensary imemaliziwa lakini haijafunguliwa. Lakini kwa hii hii budget ya leo na naunga mkono kwa sababu pesa ya pending bills imewekwa. So tunaunga mkono.
Honorable Fred, followed by Honorable Pius Singoe.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Yangu ya kwanza ni kushukuru kamati kwa kazi aliyofanya. Mheshimiwa Spika, nimesikia waheshimiwa wengi wakishukuru hii bajeti Mheshimiwa Spika, lakini kwangu Mheshimiwa Spika sijafurahia Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa nini Mheshimiwa Spika? Ya kwanza, hii bajeti imefunja sheria ya bunge ya kaunti ya miaka 5. Sheria ya miaka 5 Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa sababu tulikuwa tumeandika tukisema ya kwamba tutajenga shule ya chekechea, shule ya teknolojia. Lakini kwa hii bajeti Mheshimiwa Spika imetolewa yote Mheshimiwa Spika. Ndio nashangaa kasi gani kwa elimu wanafanya, kwa sababu waziri wa elimu sijui alikuwa anaangalia wapi yale mambo ikifanyika yote. Mheshimiwa Spika, ukiangalia hata juzi nilikuwa naangalia hii mambo ya kusema ati wanataka degree. Wale hawana pesa, wale wako hitimu wanaenda wapi? Kaunti ya Nandi. Hakuna mahali wanaenda kwa sababu haifanyi kazi. Ukiangalia sasa shule ya chapter shule ya teknolojia Mheshimiwa Spika, kuna mambo mengi hawana. Juzi nimetoka pale, mimi ni mwanafunzi pale, lakini mpaka sasa hawana, na hakuna pesa hata moja Mheshimiwa Spika imewekwa. Hakuna pesa ya shule ya chekechea hata moja. Sijui kama walimu wataandikwa kazi. Nimesikia waheshimiwa wengi kupiga makofi kwa sababu kuna mambo mengi lazima tufanye. Ile sheria ya miaka 5 yenye tuliandika, tuliahidi wananchi tutafanya, kwa miaka 5 tutakuwa tumefanya. Tumefunja sheria Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa sababu tunaangalia kama pesa imetolewa itakuwa imekuwa ngumu Mheshimiwa Spika.
Ujulishaji.
Honorable Robert Kirwa, what is it?
Nataka nijulishe Mheshimiwa Pre, tumetoa kwa ile ingine tukaweka kwa basari. Sasa inakulana tu, haina shida.
Honorable Fred.
Mheshimiwa Spika, unajua pengine mheshimiwa rafiki yangu, jirani yangu ana habari ya kwamba sasa tunapeana hiyo karo Mheshimiwa Spika ni 10,000, 15,000. Mwanafunzi kumaliza shule ni pesa mingi. Hata tukipeana 10,000 na hakuna hiyo shule. Afadhali tukiwa na shule yenye tunaenda na tunarudi. Kwa sababu mwanafunzi akienda kulala kule Mheshimiwa Spika lazima ulipie gharama yote. Na hiyo ndio unaona tunajenga, kwa sababu tunajua ya kwamba kama mwanafunzi anaenda na kurudi pesa itakuwa chini Mheshimiwa Spika. Akipatia hiyo 10,000 Mheshimiwa Spika itakuwa sawa Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, nimefuata sana na nimeangalia. Nikaona kumbe ule mtu alikataa mambo ya shahada kwa mambo ya siasa alijua. Kwa sababu ukiangalia Mheshimiwa January Askerin ni mtu amehitimu zaidi. Lakini ana haja na wale wadogo. Kwa sababu ako na shahada ya juu Mheshimiwa Spika. Ukiangalia Mheshimiwa Walda ako na shahada juu. Ana haja na hiyo maneno yote Mheshimiwa Spika. Ukiangalia Mheshimiwa Dr. Sanga Mheshimiwa Spika ni mtu amesoma Mheshimiwa Spika. Niuliza yeye, unaweza kuwa na watoto zaidi ya, kwa sababu sisi wakikale nyina tuseme tu kusaidia 6 na kwenda mbele. Watoto wote hawezi pata shahada. Wataenda wapi kama usifanye hivyo? Juzi nimesikia wakisema shule kwa kiluka Kimombo University Mheshimiwa Spika inataka ijengwe Samoe, ijengwe kila mahali kwa sababu ni yao. Lakini sisi walio chini Mheshimiwa Spika, sijui tutaishi wapi dunia hii Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwanza ningependa kuambia wananchi wale wote hamuna degree, hakuna mahali mnaishi kwa hii kaunti ya Nandi kwa sababu hamjaliwi. Sasa msipojenga shule ya chekechea, watoto wataenda kwa shule ya kibinafsi, ya mtu binafsi. Hiyo ni pesa mingi Mheshimiwa Spika. Ukiangalia shule ya Musobeja Mheshimiwa Spika, mwanafunzi analipa shilingi 1,000. Ukiangalia ya watu Mheshimiwa Spika unalipa zaidi ya 40,000. Ule mchuna chai ataenda wapi? Hiyo ndio maana unaona nimekataa, kwa sababu sioni umuhimu ya maskini kwa hii bajeti Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, walikuwa wameweka pesa ya kununua mashine ya kuchoma, ya kuosha, lakini imetolewa Mheshimiwa Spika.
Hiyo mambo yote inafanyika hapa Kapsabet. Hiyo ndio maana unaona wanatoa kwa sababu hawana haja hiyo, Mheshimiwa Spika. Ndio unaona mimi nimesema kama kuna watu wanafurahia mfurahie, lakini vile mimi najua kuna shida mingi. Pia Mheshimiwa Spika, nimesikia Mheshimiwa akisema pengine hii kiwanja ya kukimbia imewekwa pesa. Ile nyumba iko pale ya ofisi ya Mheshimiwa Gavana imewekwa pesa. Hiyo nyumba ilikuwa na pesa. Hamuku kuja hapa bure. Wakati mlikuja ilikuwa na pesa. Pesa ikatolewa, imerudishwa pesa. Si ati kuna bajeti imewekwa. Kwanza imepunguzwa. Kwa sababu tunataka tuone kama kuna pesa imewekwa ward ya Kapsabet, tuambiwe ni pesa ngapi. Kwa sababu huwezi kuniambia ati nimekuwekea pesa na pesa ilikuwa. Kila mwaka tunaweka pesa inatolewa. Kila mwaka tunaweka pesa inatolewa. Na hiyo ndio unaona sisi tukishughulikia mambo kama hiyo tunaona kama tumefinywa. Mimi kama mheshimiwa hapa Kapsabet na mgeni nimesema nimepiga hesabu nikaona kuna mambo mengi ni ngumu. Hiyo ndio maana nilisema asubuhi ya kwamba ningependa kuambia waheshimiwa walio hapa siku ile nyingine tutaongea na wananchi. Ule gavana atakuja atatuambia anatufanyia nini. Hata kama ako na rangi nyeupe, ako na rangi mweusi, lazima atuambie utatupatia nini. Saa hii si ati unapiga kura, unaomba kura gani? Lazima tukae chini. Tuangalie kiwango gani tunapata kwa hii bunge ya Nandi. Kwa sababu sasa hivi tuko na shida mno. Kumalizia Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi nimekuwa mheshimiwa kwa ile muda iliyopita. Nimejaribu kufuatilia zaidi. Kwa ile mwaka na hii mwaka nani amefanya kazi kuliko mwingine? Nikakuta mimi ndio nimeanguka mitihani. Ile mwaka nyingine nilifanya raundi hakuna iko chini. Ndio tungependa kusema hao waheshimiwa wangeangalia ni ward gani ijafanyika zaidi. Hata kama utapenda ward yako kidogo, hiyo haiwezi inua mheshimiwa gavana. Gavana atapata kura kwa hiyo ward 5 ama 7 ile timu yako wako naye, ile nyingine utapata wapi? Chematela alianguka. Alipenda watu 8 akawaja wale wengine wakaenda nyumbani. Na hiyo makosa inarudiwa sasa hivi. Kama ni Kireta inaenda kutengeneza barabara inaenda mahali moja. Kama ni mambo ya ukiangalia mfuateni pesa muone. Wananchi waliniambia nikafikiri ni mchezo. Nimejaribu nimeandika barua, nimefanya nini? Kule Namgoi kulikuwa wakati mheshimiwa gavana alikuja kulikuwa kuna watu walikuwa wanafanya biashara. Wasiri Kombo alikuja akafukuza watu. Tumeomba hata mahali ya kujisaidia kwa hiyo mwaka yote hakuna. Hata sasa haikuweko kwa hiyo pesa. Wananchi waliniuliza asubuhi nikamwambia sasa nimejaribu kuuliza imekuwa ngumu. Tumepata shamba. Hiyo shamba wanakatata wameandika wamepatia mtu ilani ya kutoka lakini imekuwa ngumu. Sasa tulikuwa tumesema kama itawezekana huyo mtu mmoja ndio onekana ni maana kuliko wale wengine. Na
Honorable Speaker.
Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Yes. What is it?
Honorable Speaker, I only need to inform Fred that he need to stick to the budget process. Whether we will be back or not, our function is a key function is to prepare the budget, not for this. So the issue of coming back and going should not appear in this county assembly, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Fred, proceed.
Sasa hivi Mheshimiwa Speaker nashangaa. Wale watu mlisema wamehitimu wote hata mimi nawashinda. Yale mimi naongea ni iko kwa bajeti Mheshimiwa Speaker. Sasa hiyo shahada si ni ya kununua kama hapo na shahada Mheshimiwa Speaker. Ningependa kuambia rafiki yangu enda shule soma. Si ati unanunua hiyo shahada yako. Kwa sababu nimeongea mambo ya kuweka pesa kwa wadi yangu Mheshimiwa Speaker. Hiyo ni bajeti Mheshimiwa Speaker. Sijui amesikia uchungu gani. Unajua yeye wacha nikwambie siku moja hata kama uko na shahada mtoto wako ataenda kwa shule ya teknolojia. Na najua yale unasema kwa mdomo yako ni yale itafanyika. Kwa sababu tunajua kama mtoto amepata max 160 ama 140 ama 200 ataenda shule gani? Lazima aende kwa shule ya teknolojia na wote sisi ndio tunasaa wako kaunti ya Nandi. Ndio unaona nawaambia anafikiri nimeenda wapi? Mimi naelewa bwana. Ama kwa sababu naongea kwa Kiswahili. Hiyo Kiingereza yako haipeleke mahali. Nimemalizia hapo Mheshimiwa Speaker, asante.
Honorable Pius Singoe.
Asante sana bwana Speaker.
Followed by Dr. Sanga, then Kipkurui Chepkony.
Ya kujangia hii budget. Nashukuru chairman wa budget na committee wake, members wake. Hii budget wana Speaker imekuza kila mahali. Kwanza mambo ya basari tumesikia iko. Mambo ya pending bills kwa sababu hiyo imekuwa shida kubwa sana. Na mambo zingine mbalimbali ambapo siwezi kujadilia kwa sababu wenzangu wamesema. Kwa hivyo mimi naunga mkono, sina mambo mengi. Kwa hivyo hii dunia imekuwa ngumu. Kwa sababu uchumi ya hii Kenya imekuwa shida. Ndio unaona mambo zingine tumeiacha na tumeiweka mambo zingine. Sasa kwa hivyo tuombe Mungu tu ili uchumi kirudi ndio tuangalie mambo zingine. Kwa hivyo hatuwezi kulaumu mtu hapa. Na ya pili, unajua inji ni democracy, kila mtu anaongea mambo yake bila anataka, lakini kitu kilioko tunaongea kulingana na mambo ya budget vile imekuwa, ndio tuna support na tunataka tu wale ambao wanatekeleza mambo ya kujenga mambo kama mambo ya maji na mambo zingine wafanye kwa haraka, kwa sababu hiyo imetuletea shida sana, kwa sababu contractors bila malipo ndio imetuletea shida katika Nandi. Kwa hivyo hii pesa imewekewa hawa, baada ya kuwa sawa sawa ilipwe na kazi iendelee mbele, na tushawishi hao contractors wajue ya kwamba wanafanyia kazi wa Nandi, wafanyii kazi watu wengine. Kwa hivyo Bwana Speaker, mimi naunga mkono hii budget. Asante sana.
Honorable Dr. Sanga, followed by Honorable Kipkurui, then Honorable Bombok.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. As a member for Budget and Appropriation Committee, I also stand to support our report. The idea of completion of ongoing projects and equipping and operationalization of the completed project in various departments is very important. It will help the residents of Nandi to realize the value of their money, the money that was used in the said projects. Members, if we just leave structures that are completed without operationalizations, it will be seen as white relevant projects that will come to haunt us later during the year. Settling of pending bills. Businesses providing services to the county government has been affected in terms of liquidity and their operations. It has led to closure of some businesses, affecting the livelihoods of the owners of such entities. By paying much of the pending bills, it will help to improve the economy of our county and also money in circulation. There is also a third item that I was happy about this budget, is the introduction of the revolving funds in the Department of Agriculture. This will enhance sustainability of service provision by the department. There are essential services, especially vaccination against notifiable diseases and AI service provision. So by providing such revolving fund, it will enhance sustainability of such services. I'm sure members, you are aware, in the previous years we had some challenges with AI service provision because of funds. So by having such revolving fund, we shall have AI service throughout the year. Another very important thing about the budget is the anticipated local revenue collection, which is more realistic. You know, if we have too much ambition of putting around, like in the other year, we had put around 600 million, and at the end of the year, we are collecting around just slightly above 300 million. So it becomes a problem when paying for the projects that has already been budgeted, done, and money not collected. You know, such brings issues of pending bills. Finally, I really support the issue of funding more on sporting equipment. I myself have been buying some sporting equipment to my resident of Chepkunyuk ward, but by budgeting it, it will help us great. Otherwise, this is a very good budget. Let's all support. Thank you.
Honorable Kipkurui Chepkwony, followed by Honorable Magdalene.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to make comments on the Budget Committee's report that has been done and for this financial year 2021-2022. Honorable Speaker, from the onset, I would wish to remind honorable members, without a flinch of an eye, Honorable Speaker, that this being the last budget before the nomination, and clearly being a UDA zone, Honorable Speaker, the nominations in April are clearly the elections of the next term of office, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, with that in mind, Honorable Speaker, members have an option to make a very serious decision whether to complete projects that are ongoing or to start new projects and finish midway. Finish midway. Why, Honorable Speaker? I speak to this because, Honorable Speaker, we are now talking to a budget that has prioritized two key components. One is the issue of clearing of pending bills. Secondly, is that of completion of already started, stalled, and pending works, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, honorable members have a decision to make. And, Honorable Speaker, from where I sit, that I'm serving my second term, Honorable Speaker, I know it counts more when you complete projects than when you leave projects hanging. Honorable Speaker, the reason why I am smiling for this government is the fact that they have realized that there are two capital projects that if they don't complete, no matter what they do, it will cost them. And that is why the member for Kapsabet, Honorable Speaker, is shying away from commenting about it because he knows very well that that did not contribute to him coming back for the second term, and it has no share in him coming back in the next term. But it has an effect on the governors coming back, and that is the governor's office and the Kipchoge Keino Stadium. So, Honorable Speaker, you realize that every member here, including the governor himself, is alive to the political reality that if you start a project and don't complete, you have no excuse, you have no explanation to the public. Honorable Speaker, there are only two costs that we meet here. First cost is that, Honorable Speaker, the talk that we talked in the CIDP, whatever is in the CIDP is short by one financial year.
Information, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, and I seek that you protect me, Honorable Speaker, because no one was interrupted when they spoke.
Honorable Kipkurui, let's give that chance to Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would like to inform the Honorable Member and all the members in this Honorable House that service delivery to Mwananchi is far much important than even being re-elected. If services, if I myself, I will not be re-elected to be an MCA in the coming election, and service delivery there at the ground, I'll be very happy because I will see projects being run, and I will still be a member of Nandi County, a resident who is happy because projects and services has been done. It is not about the governor coming back or Cheruiyot coming back. It is about, is it commensurate to what I've done?
Honorable,
that is far much important.
Honorable, first take a seat.
Point of information, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Mengech.
Yeah, Honorable Chief Kwan, just allow me to congratulate Honorable Cheruiyot for the reawakening. Unfortunately, this is the 99th minute when he has woken up to realize that service delivery to the people of Nandi is more important than getting elected.
Honorable Fred.
Asante sana.
Honorable Fred. Let us give chance, Honorable Fred.
Pia, Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa kujulisha rafiki yangu Mheshimiwa Cheruiyot ya kwamba kwa hiyo mwaka tano alikuwa anaunga mkono bajeti. Hakuna siku amaipinga. Ile ingine yote ilienda wapi? Kwa sababu saa hii ati kwa sababu muda imeisha. Hata hiyo ofisi yenye Mheshimiwa Kikuyu amesema ilikuwa na pesa yake. Wakatoa, wanarudisha. Hiyo si ati itamsaidia. Mheshimiwa, hata tukwambie tukufungua macho. Wewe ongea kwa mwananchi, ukitaka kuongea ongea ansia mwaka ile tulikuja mwaka 17, 18 mpaka saa hii useme nini imefanyika. Si ati saa hii ndio unasema itafanyika, nani atafanya? Mawaziri ni wale, hakuna mtu atabadilika.
Honorable Kipkurui, finish your presentation, and I would want us to protect.
Honorable Speaker, when I'm interrupted, I cannot be finishing when I just started my talk, Honorable Speaker.
Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, I seek that you protect me.
Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, as I was saying, anyway, the information by Member Elfas, who is my chairman for devolution, I take it as that is camera service. So, Honorable Speaker, it does not serve the interest of the people of Tindred. And of course, we understand why. Honorable Speaker, as I was saying, that it is good that we are awake. Honorable Speaker, and do not worry because a stitch in time saves 9. That's what they said, Honorable Speaker, when we went to school. Honorable Speaker, save for that, there are very key issues that I want to bring to the attention of members, Honorable Speaker. That this budget has been drawn against very serious economic times in this country. That as we speak now, Honorable Speaker, even the budget that was approved by the National Assembly It is an equivalent of, the member for Chemaza will tell you, budgeting for 100 shillings while you have 15 shillings. Honorable Speaker, as we look at the budget that we have now as well, why for me, I would agree to the recommendations in the report, is that, Honorable Speaker, against the backdrop of the economic meltdown, I am able, or the people of Tindred Ward, are in a position to get the projects that were started to be completed, rather than leave those which were started because of pending bills, which were created, Honorable Speaker, which were created not by human error, but by human decision. That, Honorable Speaker, we did not at that time appreciate the completion of projects started by the previous government. But then now, Honorable Speaker, if I am able for the people of Tindred to get all the projects started completed, I am better placed. And Honorable Speaker, let's not lie to each other here. We came here to represent the interests of the people who elected us, so that you go back to them and tell them you represented their interest by having budgets that captures their interest, so that they can reconsider you. Let's not lie to each other. Is there anyone who has declared they're not going to run for office again? No. Honorable Speaker, so let's not run away from the fact that we are doing what we do to get service to the people who will re-elect you back to continue serving them. So, Honorable Speaker, two things that I have realized in this budget, and I thought I would listen to this when the budget policy was read by the CC, which should capture the interest of all of us. As we are paying pending bills, as we are also going to complete pending projects and works, is this budget also, Honorable Speaker, going to ensure that the UHC staff, the CHVs, who are employed and whose salaries could not be captured because they indicated that it was not in the budget, are they going also to be paid from this budget? Secondly, Honorable Speaker, considering now that there is a new law on the employment of ECD tutors, Honorable Speaker, the requirement that now they need to get the basic pay as per the wage bill law in this country, Honorable Speaker, are we saying this budget also captures them? Because, Honorable Speaker, we will run in circles again if this budget is not considered of that. And I did not hear that when the CEC spoke also. Honorable Speaker, last calendar year, for that case, Honorable Speaker, we heard that the county was doing an audit of the wage bill. And clearly, we have even seen the CEC for finance in social media, indicating clearly that the wage bill in Nandi County is too huge, as this budget gathered for that. Because again, Honorable Speaker, something members should be aware is that there is a new policy directive by Treasury and SRC that moving forward for the next financial year, 3 financial years for that case, there is going to be a salary freeze. No salary increment, except only, Honorable Speaker, for what they call trunk increment. Is this considerate of the same, Honorable Speaker? Because if that being the case, Honorable Speaker, we need to be very realistic. This is the only budget that we have to be realistic. All the rest, we're always hopeful. I remember one time, Honorable Speaker, we gave 13 reasons why we wanted to reject the budget, and we were told there is always next financial year. Now all these honorable members have no next financial year, Honorable Speaker. Again, Honorable Speaker, when you look at this document, no one has addressed this, which has been annexed. The fact that this county assembly adopted or approved a CFSP, and the budget has deviated from that CFSP. Honorable Speaker, I was hoping that the CEC for Finance, who I have once in a while commended him for being bright, although very poor in human relations, Honorable Speaker, that he was going to fail to give this document that he has appealed for reconsideration of the CFSP, Honorable Speaker. If you look at the annexed document, Honorable Speaker, on appeal to the County Assembly for review of CFSP in line with submitted financial estimate, it got my interest, point number 3, in the second page of that document, that the aspects as introduced and contained in the report from the County Assembly on the amendments to CFSP were divergent from the priority programs captured in the ADP as approved by the Assembly. However, in the estimates accompanied by this appeal, the programs as per the ADP. So, Honorable Speaker, the CEC continues with this notorious behavior to call out the County Assembly for failing itself. That the County Assembly approved CFSP without considering the ADP. So you are called out again. Again, Honorable Speaker, when you look at point number 4, the last paragraph, says, through our coming year's estimates as presented, we have taken into account historical pending bills, the current works in progress, and ultimately the priority projects and programs as captured in CIDP. This shall help in compliance with PFM Act 2012 and avoid injunction and application of provision section 95 of PFM Act 2012 or non-payment of bills and when they fall due by the National Treasury. Technically, Honorable Speaker, important to note from this is that the CEC is also landing to reality, that he continues not to capture pending bills because you remember, Honorable Speaker, we were told the historical pending bills were incurred by the previous government, and so they should have been able to pay their bills. But we say, Honorable Speaker, governments are supposed to take care of itself, one government to the other, because no one goes home with the government, no one goes home with the files of government, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, if then they are saying they are going to consider pending bills, it's because they are alive to the fact that failure to consider that in the budget, then this budget will not be uploaded, or Treasury was not going to release its funds to the county government unless the pending bills are there, the historical pending bills are there. So, Honorable Speaker, that to me is a plus. When they wake up in the evening and realize morning is coming. So, Honorable Speaker, with that consideration for me, and Honorable Speaker, that Honorable Teno did not comment on the good work done by the County Assemblies Forum when we went to revisit the ceilings for the counties, and also, Honorable Speaker, when we made our case in IBEC, Honorable Speaker, when all the monies from donors, Honorable Speaker, were going to be consolidated into one. Honorable Speaker, we argued, and that's why you realize, Honorable Speaker, what the member for Chepterwai was talking about, which in fact even he did not notice where the money is coming from. I will read it for him, Honorable Speaker. The conditional grants. These conditional grants, Honorable Speaker, which are to be amalgamated together with the shareable revenue, Honorable Speaker, have been left existing because, Honorable Speaker, if all these were going to be consolidated, some of the good works that the conditional grants are doing, including the town, Kapsabet municipality, Honorable Speaker, and for those of us who come from the rural, the Narik project, Honorable Speaker, which are doing very good job, Honorable Speaker, and now that we have these monies again still existing as conditional grants, Honorable Speaker, then, Honorable Speaker, we were able, as County Assemblies Forum, jointly with the clerks in this country to negotiate that the ceilings, which had already been indicated by CRA, that they were to remain stagnant and not to be increased, Honorable Speaker, we were able to increase. And now, the works that we have in the County Assembly, Honorable Speaker, because it's going to be shame, if Nandi County Assembly is not going to complete the visible County Assembly block, Honorable Speaker, then we have no moral authority to be accusing the executive of not completing its work. So, Honorable Speaker, now that the budget also includes that, then we should pride ourselves that we are leading by example to complete the works that we have in the County Assembly of Nandi, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, on the conditional grants, I want to urge this County Assembly, Honorable Speaker, that when we have such conditional grants coming, Honorable Speaker, we need to be very keen on the implementation of the same. Because if all the others will fail, Honorable Speaker, conditional grants should not fail. And, Honorable Speaker, when all the projects are done and completed, the decision on who to be elected or who to go home, Honorable Speaker, will be made by the public. Honorable Speaker, for the fact that pending bills are going to be paid to spur the economy, for the reason that historical pending bills, which was denied by this government, they have now accepted to pay those bills, Honorable Speaker. For the reason, Honorable Speaker, that all projects are going to be completed, Honorable Speaker, and I have no reason, Honorable Speaker, I can only go and excuse the people of Tindred when they want to now do a tick and X for the works that are done, Honorable Speaker. If we are able to deliver 70% of the promise, Honorable Speaker, then we have 70% of the vote. Honorable Speaker, this budget carries the day. Thank you.
Honorable Magdalene, followed by Honorable Boambok, then Honorable Mengech.
Mr. Speaker, I also stand to support the motion on budget estimates for year 2021 to 2022, and I want to thank the budget committee led by Mheshimiwa Walter Teno for coming up with this. I support this motion on grounds of, protect me, Mr. Speaker, when on gender issue, when we are quiet, listening, they are not listening to us. Protect me, Speaker.
Proceed. Let us consult in low tones. Proceed.
I have supported this motion on some grounds like health insurance to the staff. I'm happy that we are going to be each other's keepers. While we have the insurance, the county staff don't have, and that's not fair, and we expect service delivered by them. I also support this because of payment of historical pending bills. Some families have undergone stress because of these pending bills, and they are among us, and we are the contractors from Nandi County. I also support this because of completion of ongoing projects. If the ongoing projects are completed, even if we don't start new ones, and the ongoing projects are completed, like the water projects, health projects, and ECDs, it will be better that we finish that once we have started than leaving them incomplete. I also support because of the percentage on bursary allocation. You find that initially we had maybe 30 million, and if this is going to be 40 million, at least the increase on students also will be able to sort them out. I also support on contracts of roads maintenance because you find that there is work now going on, but very slow because of the machines, the little machines that we have, the few machines we have at the county level. And if we can hire some machines, at least some work will continue and will be felt. Because when the rainy season gets off and we get the hired machines, we will be able to have roads being done. And I also support because of sports equipment. We find that every now and then we are called by our young youths requesting for balls, netball balls and football balls. And if we have this in every ward, we'll be able to deliver to them. I support and wish and sincerely wish that all that has been deliberated on will realize this dream and our county will be able to. Thank you. I support because of that.
Honorable Bwambok.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I also stand to support this motion, which has been, this is actually a great work done by the members of the Budget and Appropriation, because when I've just gone through this budget, Honorable Speaker, this is the most improved budget since we have just since we entered this assembly, and there is no need. If there is an improvement, because I can see across nearly every sector has been touched, Honorable Speaker. For example, roads. I am in the Department of Roads, and the money that has been allocated for the hire of the machine and those that has been put in this budget also to work on the roads in our wards is commendable, Honorable Speaker. Over the last few years, Honorable Speaker, with the minimum resources that we have been getting, still we have just improved. In my words, the little that we could get, Honorable Speaker, we have utilized to show that there is something that has been going on. In the giant projects also, Honorable Speaker, like the Kapsabit MCH, Honorable Speaker, this touches the whole county. And we are proud because when this one will be completed, Honorable Speaker, all people across the Nandi will be coming, even including those who are in Lelmokwangechek. It will not be a facility of Kapsabit alone, but this is a project that will assist all the community of Nandi. And referring to the Kabiyet dairy, that one also will help us improve in the 30 ward schooling plans, Honorable Speaker, which we have just put across. Even the one in my ward, Honorable Speaker, is completed now, and I think when this one will be completed, we are going to cool the milk, and then we take to Kabiyet dairies for further packaging. I heard Honorable Kirui saying that he has not been congratulated for the work that he has done. You know, as the leaders, we don't come here to be congratulated. The residents know themselves. You know, go and tell the electorate. If you have done good, then Wait God to award you. Huh? Re-election is not a matter of you go individually to request the people to elect you. Not that if we praise you here, you will be elected there. That will be not an issue, Honorable Speaker. I can see Honorable Speaker, you know what it means, a budget that touches the people of Nandi. It is not a matter of something that you need to brace yourself in. Because I can see this budget I have gone through, when the CEC read yesterday, we had at least commendable issues touched by the Waziri, which are touching this account, Honorable Speaker. So as for myself, Honorable Speaker, I can see that this is a budget that will assist us in terms of issues to do with ECDs. And the issue again, Honorable Speaker, you know, I've had another member talking about the ECDs will not be completed. You know, I can see if the money has been allocated, we are sure that the few that are remaining will be completed. The water projects that we have in our wards will be completed. Then what will be again? Maybe it is only the wish that you will be re-elected and then you come and then you work next year again. So I thank the committee led by Airport Chairman, Honorable Walter Arapteno of Kobe. Thank you.
Honorable Gideon, and let us try to be shortened so that, because of the interest of time, all the members who have stood will speak.
Thank you, Honorable
Speaker.
Gideon. I wish to also make comments on this particular report. Contrary to what the rest are saying, that this is the best budget, we can only dissect this report, but you cannot rate whether it is best or not. The best way to rate whether it is best or not is when it is implemented. So, one thing for sure that I saw in this particular budget is the fact that County Treasury has realized that it cannot call the shots in every other thing. At some point, you have to lie low, accept the reality, face the consequences, and honor your bills, whether you like the person who did the work or not. That is why the directive on pending bills and the fact that the takeaway from this budget is completion of projects and honoring of bills. There is nothing new in this particular budget. I have seen here, did my little calculation and saw the pending bills is to the tune of around 200 million plus. When you look at department by department, the only two departments that has new projects is lands, environment, water, natural resources, and roads and health. When it comes to education, there is no new project being done. It shows that, and I agree with the sentiment made by Honorable Krui, the 2017-18 ECDs that we did, you no longer even mention those projects because for 3 years it has been ongoing. Into the fourth year or fifth year, it is still ongoing. So it is pointless to start another white elephant. For instance, I have one in Cheptililik and one in Kipkimba. I cannot transfer the problem I have in Cheptililik and Kipkimba to another location. I would better focus on completing the two and try and win back the trust of the two locations rather than go and create another problem somewhere else. That is why I'm saying the county treasury is finally realizing that honoring of bills, whether you don't know the face of the person who did the same. I am a bit worried when Honorable Swadi mentioned my name in relation to implementation. I got worried because the prefect that makes sure that projects are implemented is not implementation committee. Rather, it is a sectoral committee. So if it is roads, the chairman roads, Panasingwai, has the answer. If it is health, if it is education, for instance, Teacher Rono, who is sitting next to me, is the one to give the answer. The only place that implementation committee comes in is when there is a report that education committee, like the 3 or so reports that the education committee has brought to this house, that needed some other intervention, that is when the implementation committee comes in. So, Honorable Swadi, as you proceed to be the Senator of Vihiga, don't leave some load on my head or shoulders. If there is any that you carry to Vihiga, you carry alone. Honorable Speaker, I have only one thing to say about this budget as a win, which has been a struggle. And I have seen, in fact, I was waiting for the Honorable Chair to move that amendment. Tarmacking of Nandils. Tarmacking of Nandils. When I came to this assembly, the first thing was to move a motion of conferment of Nandils to municipality status. The only motivating factor was to improve the infrastructure in Nandils town. When I saw 15 million, though some were saying it is a drop in the ocean, it is better to have a shilling than yarn for 20 shilling that you cannot get. So the only win that I see in this budget is the allocation of 15 million for tarmacking of Nandils. I want to pray and plead with the members here that when the first supplementary comes in, you add me another 15 you add me another 15 million to make it 30. And I am not shying away from saying that we are politicians. Our interest is the next election. As opposed to what Honorable Elfas is saying, trying to hide in service delivery, our interest as politicians is the next election, to come back to this particular house. That is why our focus is to complete all the projects that we've started with the investment in roads and the few coins in water and health. We just add prayers and most of us will land back here. So, and some who are requesting for graduation might also have something, stepping stone to graduate to. So, as much as I don't agree, because the county treasury has failed to honor requests by this house and prayers and motions. I am happy that the chair, budget, and his team has acknowledged that indeed this budget has deviated from the approved CFSP. Indeed, history will also be kind to us because we have done our part. The most unfortunate part is the fact that with the pandemic, anybody can give any explanation. Because if you look at our CFSP that we approved, education had some allocation of funds. Water was carrying the large chunk of the funds. I must admit that I have tried to go through this budget to look at the 1 billion increment in our shareable revenue in the development vote, but there is none, except the 1.2 in water per ward and around 3 million of hospitals. The rest goes to recurrent. And if we are true and sincere, we need to bite the bullet and relook at the issue of the wage bill. Otherwise, it will drive this county to receivership in the near future, even in the lifetime of this tenure or this term of office, if we don't, if we don't take care. So as much as I've said that there are several other aspects in this budget that would have required a relook at it, an overview of this shows some level of sincerity in the fact that the projects that have been started should be completed for purposes of wananchi getting value for money. Thank you.
Honorable Mengech.
Honorable Speaker, I stepped out basing on what members have said, that this budget is for maybe paying pending bills, equipping, operationalization. I wanted to request the committee here chaired by Honorable Teno, looking at the budget for, there are some projects, at this level, I think all the members will agree that there is no need of starting new projects. Honorable Ngatich, you will agree with me, construction of a new VTC in Kosirai at 3.5 million, which has been retained in the budget, would not make any sense at the moment. Construction of a new VTC at Kabiet, Honorable Teno, will not make any sense. Construction of Kamarit VTC. I know you are excited, Honorable Babu, Honorable Koye, that you are getting a new VTC. But looking at it, why would we reallocate money for operationalization of VTCs and retain construction of new ones? So as the chair of this committee...
Point of information.
Yes,
that one,
yes,
shortly, that one for Kamarij is for the previous financial year. It is not 2020. Yeah, it is an ongoing.
Chair, Honorable Speaker, I'm very aware that none of these projects has begun. None of these projects has begun. So the department can still reallocate this money, even if it's for 2020, this financial year, this one, which is ending next week. We can still reallocate this money for operationalization. Anyway, yeah, it does not make any sense to retain that money. Let's have that money for equipping those ones which have already been constructed. Like Kipsebo, Honorable Gideon will agree with me that you would rather equip Kipsebo, which is already complete. It was completed almost 4 years ago. Yeah. Then the other issue, Honorable Speaker, I'm happy that Honorable Kirongo is here. I attended a hot meeting in Kaimosi with Honorable Kirongo on the dumping site. And I'm happy that me, Honorable Kirongo, and the people of Chepkumia and Kapkangani were in agreement that we don't need a dumping site at Kaimosi. So there's this budget line for 8 million, but it is for this financial year. I would request Honorable Kirongo, we relocate this money to benefit other sectors in your ward.
Information, Mr. Speaker.
Excavation for dump site and fencing in Kaimosi.
Yes. Yes, Honorable Elfas.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would like to inform the Honorable Member that actually when we did the public participation at Kapkangani, the solution which we arrived there was the people of Kangani, including the Honorable MCA for Kapkangani, to be given proper time to digest the importance of the dam site there, so that when we go back there in the next 2 months, we will have come up with a very concrete solution. So we are not done with the dam site, Honorable Member. We still revisit.
Honorable Speaker,
yes, Honorable Mengech.
If I was not in that meeting, I would give Honorable Cheruiyot the benefit of doubt. But Honorable Kirongo was there, I was there. The agreement was, there was unanimous decision on the acceptance of Koitalel Samoei University setting up a campus there. That one was in agreement. On this dam site, 99% of the people in that room said no. So, Honorable Cheruyat, I don't know what more time you need. Honorable Speaker, I'm happy that finally we have swallowed the lie that the county headquarters belongs to Jematel, and we are going to complete it. I'm happy about that. We have swallowed the lie that that building was condemned because it was never condemned. I'm happy that already there's an advertisement already circulating, and I'm happy that we have allocated money. Honestly, Honorable Speaker, the reawakening by Honorable Cheruyot is fair enough at this level, because the Bible says even at the time of death you can still repent. It's okay. I'm requesting
information, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Elfas.
I think you remember I should learn that I'm alive and kicking. I'm not dead. And what I was saying, Mr. Speaker, for his information was that the argument to them was the budget actually, the budget is... Yes, Mr.
Did he mean you are dead, or you say at the time of death?
I've always been awake, Mr. Speaker. That's why I was saying to them, let us not debate the budget on re-election period. The budget, the importance of the budget is when once it is implemented, you can either be re-elected or not elected, but you'll remain a beneficiary of this country. Thank you, Mr.
Honorable Mengage, proceed.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would urge the committee, we agreed in the past, we set precedents that we are not going to have a block budget. For example, in health and sanitation, we have this issue of equipping and operationalizing complete facilities countywide. Honorable Teno, we agreed, Honorable Speaker, we agreed that we are not going to have a block 90 million. We want a breakdown. So before we can even put it to a vote, we want a list of all the health centers that you want to equip. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, on the issue of bursary, I'm hesitant to support the fact that you have taken 15 million shillings on the Boteno for equipping. Are we going to leave those VTC centers for the next 2 years before you can get money? So, Honorable Boteno, I will have to request that we defer this, putting the question until we agree that we get 15 million for VTCs. I'm requesting this one. And then lastly, of course, having got an extra, that is 45 million plus 40 million. That is 85 million for bursary. At least it's a plus. I've seen a comment by the department that we gave out bursary in 2020. We have not given out bursary in 2020. That was money for 1920. So I'm happy that we have an increment of around 25 million for bursary. Yeah, our loaf is better than none, because we had requested as a committee 120 million, so 85 million is okay. So now I'm asking about the 200 million for medical insurance. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can discuss that one before you can put this to vote. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, on the issue of, I'm happy, of course, Mongobit Hospital, which is not a new project. It's a project for 1920. We had allocated 4 million. I'm happy that Mongobit has an extra 10 million here. But the main question is, the main question, Honorable Gideon will agree with me that money has not been a problem. The biggest issue is implementing the budget. Implementing the budget. Money is not, there's no excitement here. We have to ask ourselves, what are we going to do, number one, so that we pay pending bills? Because in every budget we have 8 pending bills. Number two, what are we going to do so that we can complete and equip all the existing facilities that we have? Otherwise, looking at the mood in the House, I believe members are in support.
Honorable members, in the interest of time, because we are repeating the same thing over and over again.
Mr. Speaker, just a point.
Maybe I can give 3 members, but let us not repeat. We are saying the same thing over and
Exactly.
over again.
Yes. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Kirongo.
In fact, I don't have much to say. Members have just exhausted. I'm just concerned with the issue of just dump site, Mr. Speaker. Just only one statement will not make me to reject the budget. I take it as an error, Mr. Speaker. It's an error. Because I want to, members will know that I will stay put. Mr. Speaker, that dump site will not come to Kaimosi. But and with the entire budget, I support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Cynthia, final honorable comment, finished.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Just allow me to make a quick one of this budget. First, I appreciate the Committee on Budget. It is not an easy job to harmonize the interest of the executive and the people at the same time, the Assembly. Honorable Speaker, as someone has said, the agenda of this budget is completion and operationalization, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wonder how this is the objective of this budget, while the 15 million that Honorable Mengej has spoken about, that's supposed to be able to operationalize and equip VTCs, like the Kabore VTC that we spoke about this morning, Honorable Speaker, has been removed, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, that is saying it and undoing it, Honorable Speaker. And just like someone has requested, I hope we can be able to still amend that one, Honorable Speaker, because we want to complete and operationalize those facilities, Honorable Speaker. That is my concern, main concern, Honorable Speaker. And secondly, on the issue of sports and youth, I want to just state that I can see there is some sort of excitement about the sporting equipments, Honorable Speaker. It's not the first time that we have sporting equipments. The first one, we allocated 4 million. This one is, and we also allocated money for washing machines. And I must say, the washing machines have been able to help the economy of this county, Honorable Speaker. And I must appreciate the executive for having thought of it, Honorable Speaker. It is really helping. I might not say much for the welding machines, but for the washing machines, they're doing a very nice job. Honorable Speaker, what this budget and committee has done is they did 1 minus 1, which is 0. They removed money from welding machines and washing machines, 2 million and 4 million, and put it under equipment, sporting equipment, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, that is 1 minus 1, which is 0, Honorable Speaker. The youth of this county are still stagnant where they were. They cannot be able to get those equipments for them to be able to use it in their household, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the last point that I want to make today, Honorable Speaker, is about the pending bills. I want to appreciate that, but I do not want to mention a lot of it in a lot of things in the same, Honorable Speaker. The other thing, Honorable Speaker, is the coolers, the structures, Honorable Speaker. The spirit of this is complete and operationalized, but there is nothing on the coolers, Honorable Speaker. They're just steel structures. Some of them don't have, like in my place, they don't have power, and there is no allocation for the same, Honorable Speaker. Like Honorable Terry, she was given a chance. The safe house for girls and women, Honorable Speaker, has been allocated 0 shillings, Honorable Speaker. This budget has refused to recognize women of this county, Honorable Speaker, while they are refusing to recognize the youth of this county, Honorable Speaker. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, reading from the mood, of course, my vote on the budget, I think for the last 4 years, Honorable Speaker, I have been saying no to these budgets because of the kind of discrimination that the people of Kilibwani are getting majorly, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, just so that I don't end the year, the 5-year term, Honorable Speaker, saying no to budgets that don't give me a plus or minus, Honorable Speaker, allow me to agree to this one this time around, to support this budget. But Honorable Speaker, you can be sure, Honorable Speaker, that I will be the worst nagging human being in regards to implementation of this project, Honorable Speaker. I will be the one to bring statements and motions every week, 3. I can assure that.
And you can also take it to the field. Honorable comment.
Speaker, point of order.
Yes, Honorable Swadi.
Yes, I do believe, Mr. Speaker, I've just realized that I'm sitting near to the bomb because my neighbor is not having mask, and I'm very much worried when I've just realized that. So, Mr. Speaker, can you, okay, is it in order members to enter this house without a mask?
Honorable Charles Korir, without a mask, will not be allowed to sit. You would ask, proceed to go get a mask. Honorable Komen, you are the last person. I need to finish because we have the last time is not on us.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this last opportunity. I seem to be a stranger in Jerusalem here because I'm not seeing why we are really so much excited about this budget, because we've actually passed a number of budgets. And our biggest problem has always been one: implementation. Implementation, not funds. And going through the budget that we have actually seen, the calculation seems not to be, I've not seen anybody actually pointing to that. the calculations and the percentages seems not to be right. Because there is no way you are going to use CRF plus conditional grants and still calculate percentage in terms of recurrent and development. They must be set aside because they are already fully development funds. So, working on that, we are going to have a deficit in terms of development in this budget for around 615 million shillings, which has been what has been affecting our budget negatively in terms of implementing also. So, in that regard, the recurrent has been able to actually take away over 615 million, which is supposed to be on development. And based on that, when you really calculate, you will get that we are spending 78.3% on recurrent, which leaves only 21.7% on development. We really have to be sincere on this. It is the truth of the matter in terms of how it should actually be done. Now, on a procedural issue, Honorable Speaker, and I think I need your ruling on this. We've had a letter, or we have the CEC actually wrote to this House that we ratify the CFSP. Was that document tabled for ratification? I think it was brought to this House, not to the committee. Was it really tabled and handled in this assembly? That is, if you look at it from the CEC's letter, it says, therefore, the county assembly is urged to reconsider the said CFSP while appreciating the 2021-22 estimate presented to make amendments thereof as follows. Did we consider that one first? That is something that we need to really look into. According to this budget, we are so much excited that we've set deadlines and so on. Even the last budget, we set a lot of deadlines. Were they observed? No. What makes us excited today, that this one, the deadlines will be observed? Well, I'm not seeing much going to Terek Ward. And I wouldn't really shy away from saying, this is normal budget, I would still say no. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, judging by the mood of the House,
Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Walter.
Honorable Speaker, allow me to move a motion of amendment on Budget and Appropriation Committee report in respect to budget.
Just let me...
Yes, Honorable Mengi.
Yeah, point of information, Honorable Speaker. I want to request the Chair whether he has accepted my proposal for amendment based on the fact that we need to complete those VTCs. Yeah, that is very important, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Walter, as you move your amendment, you'll respond to that. Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As I will respond the issue by Honorable Mengage, allow me to move a motion of amendment on Budget and Appropriation Committee report in respect to budget estimates for financial year 2021-2022. Honorable Speaker, I wish to propose that the Budget and Appropriation Committee report on the Nandi County budget estimates for financial year 2021-2022 be amended as follows. Number one, at recommendation number 8, the report is amended by deleting Kenya shillings 44,680,000 and Kenya shillings 1,320,000 and substituting the same with Kenya shillings 50 million and Kenya shillings 6,640,000 respectively. The rationale for this amendment is informed by the fact that an error of the fact that there was an interchange of votes, that is 221,1306 and 221,1308, which is Kenya shillings 1,320,000 and Kenya shillings 640,000 as contained in the budget estimates for financial year 2021-2022, page 48. Honorable Speaker, that the report be amended by introducing the following recommendations. A, that under D4420, Transport and Infrastructure, reallocate Kenya shillings 15 million from Fort for hire and lease of equipment to construction of tarmac roads in Nandi Hills Township. And B, that under D4419, Lands, Environment and Natural Resources and Climate Change, reallocate Kenya shillings 10 million from Fort for historical pending bills in order to cater for funding of the implementation of the Climate Change Act 2020. And number C, that funds initially allocated for transforming healthy system, that is THS, USP, and Nutrition International Program Fund under the Department of Health and Sanitation for 4414 be rebudgeted in financial year 2021-22 to maintain its initial budget intentions as follows. That DHS USP 2019-2020 budget amount should be Kenya shillings 7,651,479. And then THS USP 2020-21, 51,761,479. And then Nutrition International, that is program fund for Kenya shillings 14 million. This totals to Kenya shillings 73,412,958. The rationale for this, Honorable Speaker, is that the Department of Health and Sanitation was scheduled to receive Train 2 of the TSH USP funds, as indicated in the table above, but as of now, it is unlikely that the funds will be available for utilization in financial year 2020-2021, as the year is due to conclude in a week's time. Honorable Speaker, number 3, at recommendation number 10, the report is also amended by deleting Kenya shillings 8,878,606, 8,878,606,851, and substituting the same with Kenya shillings 49,809. The rationale for this amendment is informed by the fact that Kenya shillings 73,412,958, as indicated in number 2C above, will be rebudgeted for in the financial year 2021-2022. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move and I call upon Honorable Rail Rotich to second.
Honorable members, I propose a question on the amendment. Maybe one comment from Honorable Gideon.
Mr. Speaker, the only part of this amendment that captured my eye is 15 million for Nandi Hills Town. Thus, I support fully, and I request members to support me.
Honorable Mengech.
Honorable Speaker, considering that we may not have adequate time, because I want to ask some questions here, especially to the chair and maybe the member for Nandi Hills. Previously, we have allocated money for tarmac in Nandi Hills bus park. Yes, previously, and that work has not been completed by now. Yeah, so I'm asking, and the Chief can assist me in this call. I'm asking, based on this amendment, that we are taking away money for hire and lease of equipment, which would benefit the whole county, and redirecting the same to Nandi Hills. I believe this one is not equity. This one is not equity, and all of us represent our interest in the ward. So I don't mind Nandi Hills getting 15 million, but I mind missing funds for hiring road machinery for Lesos. So, Honorable Tena and your team, you have to go back, look for other funds other than those ones meant for hiring equipment. Yes.
Information, Honorable Speaker. Information?
Yes, Honorable Gideon.
Yes, I want to inform my colleague, Honorable Mengech, who happens to be coming from the same constituency as myself, that indeed also in this particular budget proposal, Moko Beach got 10 million. And it is coming from the budget. So it will be unfair to single out Nandi Hills Town when it is the same funds is coming from the same resource envelope. It is nothing new. And that's why I was requesting members to support that idea, and it is 15 million.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker. Point of order.
Order, honorable members.
Yeah, that logic does not hold any water. We are reallocating. For Moko Beach, it was allocation, not reallocating. We are snatching from wards and giving to Nandi Hills. For Moko Beach, look at it this way. Kabiet in 2018 received a lot of money. Kobujoy, Honorable Chemutai received funds. Chepterwai received funds. This time it was the time for Moko Beach. What is wrong with that? So we want the team to go back and look for money elsewhere, not for hiring and leasing of equipment for the whole county.
Honorable Kipkurui was the first to stand up, then I can give the other two.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would just want to make two comments about this amendment, Honorable Speaker. That, Honorable Speaker, I don't mind, Honorable Speaker, I don't mind when Nandi Hills gets 10 million or 15 million for the tarmac. Because when we are saying we are taking 10 million from hire of machinery and lease of equipment, which everyone will benefit, it is by this decision, by allowing reallocation of 15 million, because when we hire and lease equipment, we cannot put tarmac, let the tarmac be put in Nandi Hills. But Nandi Hills ward will receive the minimum, the minimal of any allocation for hire of machinery and equipment. So that, Honorable Speaker, that is the only way we can achieve equity. Because again, Honorable Speaker, I want to say this, and that is why I will go back to the comment that was made by the member for Chepterwai. When you look at these projects funded by conditional grants, and I think this is a comment that we made the last time, the member for Kapsabet, and I seek his attention. The member for Kapsabet, when he got the 100 million, when we did the supplementary budget of 18-19, when he was given 100 million for Kapsabet County referral, the member for Kapsabet says, once he get 100 million, he was not going to ask for any funding from those for facilities. So, Honorable Speaker, we have to be very objective. And I'm sure this is where now we are going to be keen. Because, Honorable Speaker, for me, I have supported this budget because we are completing stalled projects. So, Honorable Speaker, if any money is going to be allocated and complete any project, then it means any ward which had gotten some amount must complete that project. So without fear of contradiction, Honorable Speaker, some wards are going to benefit more in one hand, but cannot be allowed to benefit more also in the other hand. Like an example, Honorable Speaker, when we talk about these projects, the donor-funded projects, World Bank donor-funded projects, Kenya Up and Support Program, Honorable Speaker, the member for Kapsabet gets a huge chunk of money out of that. Because anyway, this is the only municipality that we have in Nandi. So we cannot then, when it comes to the issue of hire of machinery and equipment, Tindred Ward needs a dozer and a grader, while Kapsabet wards need the one that does the tarmac, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, we have to be very objective and agree that if Nandi Hills gets the 15 million, they should forget hired and leased equipment.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you asked me.
Asante sana.
Honorable Fred was standing. Let me give Honorable Fred a chance.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Speaker. Unajua mimi nashangaa yale waheshimiwa wanasema. Milioni 15 inafanya nini Nandi Hills? Hata unajua kilomita moja inatengenezwa na milioni 65. Nilikuwa naonelea hata mheshimiwa apewe milioni 40. Ili isaidie Nandi Hills, Mheshimiwa Speaker. Unajua Mheshimiwa Speaker, kuna kitu mheshimiwa haoni. Wageni wakikuja hapa Kapsabet kama imejaa wanaenda Nandi Hills. Hata hospitali ni hivyo. Hakuna haja tupishane, na naona ni milioni 200 na kitu yenye iko. Tuunge mkono, tuongezee ikuwe milioni 20, atengeneza hata nusu kilomita Mheshimiwa Speaker. Kwa sababu ukiangalia Nandi Hills, si hata ni town inatoka mbali. Nandi Hills ni town yetu Mheshimiwa Speaker. Na wale wote hata wale na wanashangaa wale wanapinga ni wale wanatoka huko. Badala mimi nipige kwa sababu mimi ni mtu ya Kapsabet. Tuunge mkono kwa sababu acha nikwambie, watu watakula hiyo pesa, kwa sababu watasema pengine hiyo mara imebeba na maji, abadali lami hata. Tutoe milioni 59 yenye iko juu, tupatie Nandi watengeneze kilomita moja. Ile iko sawa, kwa sababu tutapishana. Mara ngapi tumepishana na hiyo pesa tunapeana na inakuliwa, hairudi. Abadali tuangalie yale ile barabara inaonekana. Na hiyo ndio tunataka tuweke. Unajua mambo mengine tunajua, na hata nashangaa, nashukuru mheshimiwa Nandi. Kwa sababu kama mheshimiwa gavana hakukumbuka, mpaka wewe unaanza kufikiria jambo kama hiyo.